Colin coming to you from Honolulu, Hawaii at the Sheraton Waikiki, beautiful Waikiki Beach with Diamond Head. And today I'm going to be preparing for you my Popo's oxtail soup and forbidden rice. What we do is we basically take the oxtail bones, and what we do is we roast it, salt and pepper, and then what we do is after we do a little blanch with it, and then we slowly cook it and braise it for 3.5 to 4 hours. And in braising it, what we do is we put a little star anise, ginger, a little dried orange, and some coriander or cilantro. I have the broth, which we braise the oxtail in for about 3.5 to 4 hours. Inside the broth, there's a little bit of red wine, soy, of course the star anise, the ginger, the dried orange, and the coriander. And I put a little bit of chili in there for a little spice. So this is jasmine rice. What we do is we steam the rice with a little bit of ginger and lemongrass, and that helps to give a little of that perfumated, fragrant flavors in there. This is the black Thai rice or Indonesian rice. When you steam it, it kind of has this nutty, perfumated flavor as well. And this is just to give a little texture and a little bit of color inside the rice. I really like to use this, and I sometimes cook it with coconut milk, and it gets a nice, rich, earthy flavor. So we're going to just fold that in together. We're going to put a little bit of sesame oil. These are just onions and a little bit of minced ginger, which we sauteed previously. Next is a little bit of coriander. These are just some dried cranberries with some peanuts. That helps to give a little bit of sweetness. A little edamame beans. Some raisins for sweetness. And then the last ingredient is, of course, scallions or green onion. So we're going to just mix that up. And then we have forbidden rice, what I call it. This is a good pairing with the soup because it's not overpowering, but yet it gives a little bit of flavor and well balanced with the dish because the soup is very intense. The flavors have that ginger, they have that star anise. I'm going to just do a little plate up here. A little bit of chili. These are red chilies. And then we're going to put a little bit of the white parts of the scallion on top. Now on the side of the soup are a little bit of condiments which we're going to add. This is a ginger cilantro pesto that I've made. It's ginger cilantro. It's on the recipe. A little bit of sesame oil, peanut oil, and then we puree it up and make a nice pesto with it. And then there's some peanuts and then some cilantro or coriander. We're going to add the ingredients to the soup. So this is hasu or lotus root. We just peel it, cut it up, and blanch it so it comes a little tender. Then we have some shiitake mushrooms, just quartered, sauteed. I used grapeseed oil with this. And then here is honshimeji mushrooms. And the honshimeji is nice little tops of the mushrooms, very subtle. Their flavor is not real earthy, not real tough. So I really like that. And then this right here is the kai choy. This is a mustard cabbage. In Chinese, they use this for different stir fries or different salads. So I'm going to just add these into the soup, hasu. We're going to put a little bit of the shiitake mushrooms in there, a little bit of the shimeji mushrooms, and then of course some kai choy, and then some of the sen choy. Peanuts, which have been previously cooked. They're raw, blanched peanuts, and then what we do is we cook it after. You can use roasted peanuts, but it kind of tends to not have that flavor. What it does when you cook it raw is it soaks up the flavor from the broth, so it's really nice. Now, the reason I'm not going to put the oxtail in there is because I've previously taken off the meat. I've made a little roulade and then cut them and then seared them. If I put it in here, it's going to fall apart. Put a little couple up here. Of course, we're going to put the nice broth in there. Flavors of the ginger, the star anise, and of course a little bit of orange in that coriander in there for flavor. We're going to add a little bit of the red jalapenos or serrano chilies for color and for some spice or some flavor. Then I finished off with a little bit of these coriander leaves. And there you have it. We have our Popo's oxtail soup with kai choy, shiitake mushrooms, peanuts, a little bit of coriander, and our forbidden rice. Hope you Aussies love it.